We do not see things as they are. We see things as we are. Now, I'm using your comment not to beat upon you, but I see this a lot, especially about this issue of race and racism. So I'm just using your comment as the landing page for this conversation. But I want to tell you a story. So I grew up in the Bahamas in 1978. I grew up in the dirty 80s. And during that time, the Bahamas was having an influx of immigrants coming into the country. And the influx of immigrants that were coming in were Haitians. Now, I never heard my mother or my father explicitly say anything mean, ugly, or nasty about Haitians. But here's what I didn't see either. I never saw them explicitly say to people who were saying mean, ugly, nasty things about Haitians to not speak that way, to not talk about those people in that way, especially not in front of their children. So while they were not the ones saying the words, they were also not the ones correcting the words that were said. I never heard my parents say to us as kids, turn off the television, as the news were plastering these immigrant families in the most vulnerable times in their lives, showing them coming off boats, being dirty and hungry. I never heard my parents say, why are they continuing to dehumanize and demoralize these immigrant families? Why are they showing these people in this way? I never heard my parents do that either. I never heard my parents correct family members who worked in the hospital who would come and complain about Marie having her third or fourth or fifth child. So racism isn't always explicitly given to us by our family. It's not explicitly told to us by our parents, but it's in these very subtle ways that we learn, or we get the messaging, that we are somehow a little bit better than those people. That our circumstance makes us a little bit better. So maybe not your immigrant parents who were Italian, because I'm sure it was vastly different for them during that time as well. But as we grow and as we learn, it's these subtle ways that we get racism passed down to us. In the work that I do, I'm sitting in boardrooms with managers and directors and VPs and CEOs who say things like, we don't allow that kind of speech and language in this company, as if language and speech is the only way to communicate discrimination and bias and racism. We communicate both verbally and non-verbally all the time. It's in your parents moving you on the other side of the road as the people that they think are less than them is coming towards them. This is how it gets passed down. So when I said we don't see things as they are, we see things as we are. So whenever I hear people or people tell me what their barometer is for somebody else's racism, I know they're telling me their barometer for their racism and how they view it and how they categorize what is racist and what is not racist. All racist or all racism or xenophobia isn't always explicitly told to us, but somehow it is always communicated, isn't it?